so it's your favorite Japanese yoko! Yay! Or am I your favorite? So I'm a Japanese living in Japan, and today I would like to talk about Barack Hussein Obama. So Barack Hussein Obama will be the first sitting American president to visit Hiroshima, Japan pretty soon actually. What's up with his first? Like his obsession with his firsts, like as if he's got some problem with or fetish with virginity. I don't know, I just had to throw that out there. So he is the president who opened all combat positions to women. He is the president who gave you guys the first 2 female rangers and the first openly homosexual service secretary, followed by the first female combatant and commander. And I bet that there are many others of this kind, but he's done all these things firstly and mostly for his legacy, right? And I am pretty sure that he is proud because his mentor will be, right? Like, as most of you guys probably know, President Obama's mentor was a black man named Frank Marshall Davis, who was a communist marked by the FBI during the Cold War, who happens to look almost exactly like President Obama for some reason. And I'm not gonna talk about that because I don't know anything. But I hear that this Frank guy appears many times in President Obama's book titled Dreams from My Father, not Dreams of My Father, which is odd again, but so this Frank guy appears many times, and you can tell that President Obama was very much influenced by this Frank guy. And according to an article that I came across a while ago, President Obama's mentor Frank was a determined opponent of US foreign policy, especially the Marshall Plan and NATO, and he hated the US military, which he saw as a global force for evil. So you get the idea, like, you get what I mean by, you know, such a man being proud of President Obama's accomplishments. The article is very well written, so if you want to read the whole thing, I'll link it below, so check it out. Like, just so you know, I don't want to talk bad about the president of your country or of our ally, but to me, President Obama is a Muslim and a communist who used to be a radical leftist, an agitator, influenced by Frank Marshall Davis, Saul Alinsky, and many others. So I can't help but thinking that he's got some solid, prepared, dark strategy in his head, you know what I mean? Like, he grew up in difficult surroundings as a minority, so it's natural for him to think of certain things or certain people as evil, you know? And now, with his past and his identity in mind, again, let's think of it that he will be the first sitting American president to visit Hiroshima. According to CNN, I'm gonna quote, "The White House has said the United States does not owe Japan a formal apology for using the atomic bomb in August 1945. Instead of just say that the visit will serve as a reminder that terrible destruction the nuclear weapons can conflict." So he will visit Hiroshima, but he will not apologize. But it's confusing, right? So you know what happened? I saw this picture from Breitbart. No comment on that as a Japanese, because I would have to hold like a super long, like hours long history lecture. But I shared that picture with my followers on my Facebook because I had to make sure that my people understand what kind of man President Obama is and what I think he is trying to do by this action in particular. So here's what I explained. I made 5 points. So number 1, with his visit, even if he doesn't apologize, this I bet will mean an apology gesture for the proud American citizens and make them angry, which is not a good thing to cause. 2, with his visit, President Obama will be implying to the world that he is weakening America even more, which is not a good thing either. 3, with his visit, President Obama will make the Japanese people angry because we know that it's for his legacy, and even the media here that's mostly liberal is pointing that out. And not only that, Japanese people will be either angry or sad to hear the history that winners have written all over again. Like, some people here think that our nation was evil, or others think that winners dominate losers or the international society after war. Number 4, with his visit, President Obama will stir up the confusion on the usage of the atomic bombs even more in order to create chaos, rather than bringing order and stabilizing and connecting the 2 countries. And lastly, number 5, with all these things that President Obama would cause, he can possibly tear apart Japan-US alliance and a security treaty. And that will only make communists happy in the end. And that's basically like the World War II all over again. So that was my analysis, but now let me talk about what I'm feeling personally. I don't want American people to make it about atomic bombs. In fact, I don't think that we need to talk about atomic bombs at all. You know why? Because truthfully, this is not about atomic bombs or nuclear abolishment or mourning for Hiroshima. This is about President Obama's legacy, right? Just as his accomplishments that I talked about earlier are all about his legacy and not for the United States military or gender equality. If he was a different type of president who would not weaken America, maybe I'd be happy with everything. I don't know. And especially as for the conservative people in the United States, I want you guys to remember that your nation at that time was being led by Democrats, like as far as I know, at least. What I'm trying to say is that the opinions in the United States varied just like today, like domestically. And also I hear that there will be a film to expose Democrats, and I am excited about it. Like it'll be a great step forward, you know, and I don't think that it covers the World War II. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's cool, you know. Another thing that I'm feeling bad is that President Obama will go to Hiroshima. Did he forget about Nagasaki? By the way, speaking of Nagasaki, there was a Christian church that was destroyed by the atomic bomb. So yeah, there were many Christian people living there and they were murdered also. But yeah, just food for thought. And also I'm wondering if President Obama knows that every Japanese knows the American military aircraft named B-29, which was attacking the unarmed Japanese citizens that were women and children mostly, like every day. I don't know if you know this, but there were a lot of major air raid here in Japan, like in Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, Kobe, Kyoto, even my hometown Fukuoka, and many others. Like the entire Japan was burnt down literally during those days, like before the atomic bombs. Still, the atomic bombs happened. And I am talking about this not to attack you guys, but to ask a question. My question is President Obama going to visit every single place and mourn? Or he doesn't care because he's only concerned about nuclear weapons? But according to the White House statement that I showed you earlier, isn't this about a reminder of terrible destructions? Like, why nuclear weapons only? Right? Like, he doesn't care about incendiary bombs because it's painful. It burns you alive. And this gives me another question, like, does this lead to that Japan has to apologize or have apology gesture for our war actions as well? But I thought that we were over with that, with a fake trial after the war, like after World War II, called Tokyo trials. Everything that Japan did was labeled as war crimes, and American ones were not, in the staged, scripted trials. And our leaders were murdered, and we don't know where their remains went to. What I mean is there were so many sacrifices for us to build a society today. My point is, where is the line? You know, like, how far do we have to do all these apology things? Like, why do we have to dig up the past this way? Isn't what we need to do is to rather know and learn what really happened in the past in details so that we can understand each other better, and that way we can bring peace, right? I know that this is politics, but like what President Obama is doing is nothing more than a performance, right? And it only makes him look either good or bad, and it won't solve anything at all, in my opinion. Like, still, like, we have to turn this into something positive, but just saying. And also, this is just food for thoughts, but another thing to consider is that for American people, the World War II might feel like the ancient history, but for us Japanese, it is the most recent one. It's the last so far, and we can't imagine ourselves back in war because we don't even have the military. I hate to say this, but like, we are more sensitive than you expect. Like, even for us conservatives, because our military power was deprived after the war, and our social systems and traditions, which had consisted our power and culture for hundreds of years, were mostly destroyed. And believe it or not, even though I have talked a lot now, I don't want to talk about the past this way. Why? Because I love America, I love American culture, I love you guys. Like, I don't want to talk bad about your mother country or your history that you should be proud of. And even if the history of the World War II that I could show you is true, it would be very natural of you to feel like arguing to me or denying me, right? But if that happened, it would only make things worse. And I don't want that. So instead, I'm gonna talk about the bright future that we can build together, right? Part of the reason why I'm showing my support for Mr. Trump. But, oh wait! President Obama hates Mr. Trump. In fact, I bet that President Obama will try and stage that he's the good guy trying to abolish nuclear weapons, while Trump is the bad guy because of his comments on arming Japan with nuclear weapons. So yeah, President Obama and I don't agree on that thing either. But again, complaining doesn't, get us any solutions. So we have to turn this into something positive, because I have learned that politics is something that we decide the meanings of. Maybe we could say that Japan and America overcame the past together and we're better friends now. I mean, we are. And yeah, all the negative apology kind of stuff should end here, that kind of thing maybe. Regardless of the political intentions of President Obama's visit, a lot of the people here are actually happy about him visiting here. It's not like we are blaming the US for the atomic bombs or anything. Like, we just genuinely appreciate it because we can see the effort, like, if you're not deeply involved in politics, you only see this action as one step closer to each other. So yeah, maybe we, like you and I, are thinking too much about this. So for us thinkers, the most important thing to remember is that the worst case scenario that can occur is, as I said, to make communists win by destroying the alliance relationship and the security treaty that we have. Like, we need to share the thoughts of who the real bad guy is in this world, and we need to be wise and unite, over the borders against them. Like, we don't need to talk about the content of the conflicts that they bring, like, all we need to do is to expose those bad guys with their intentions, right? That's a lesson that I can learn from the past. Anyways, if you come up with the idea of how we can turn this into something good for both of our countries, let me know in the comment section below. And lastly, if President Obama really cares about the world peace, I'd like him to know the real history. Like, not to weaken America, but to learn the mistakes of the liberals in the United States, especially as for the World War II, in order to avoid such mistakes in the future. So, like, they were deceived by communists. Venona papers say that. Okay, so, this was a long video. Thanks again for watching, guys. You guys are so awesome. I really thank you guys, and you guys give me hope each time. So thank you so much. Politics can get you hurt, so please be safe, but let's fight together, alright? Yeah, we are with you. Yeah. Okay. I'll make another video soon, I think. So I'll see you soon, alright? Thanks for watching. Bye!